So now we'll study the different types of rubbers, what are the various monomers and what is the partial structure. Monomers are very important. Okay, so we have already studied in our theory neoprene rubber, Buna S, Buna N. Along with this, there are two more rubbers you should know. One is polysulfide rubber, which is commonly called as thiocol. Most frequently it has been asked. And another one is polyurethane rubber. So let us start with the neoprene rubber. So rubber topic is very simple. If you know butadiene. Okay, so what is butadiene? So butadiene will have 4 carbon atoms, 2 double bonds, and then satisfy the valency. So I hope you know that this is the butadiene structure. So what we have to do for the butadiene is we just have to modify slightly. For example, in case of neoprene rubber, the monomer is chloroprene. So how did I get a chloroprene? Very simple. For the second carbon atom, one of the hydrogen should be replaced with a chlorine atom. That itself is a monomer for chloroprene. It is also an example for homopolymerization. Why? Because here it has only one single monomer with the unsaturation. So therefore it is an example for homopolymerization, so that I'll end up with a neoprene rubber. So how to write a partial structure? Only 2 examples I'll show. So here, very simple, as I have said you, so you should have a delocalization of a pi electron. So just to have a shifting of pi bond like this, you will end up with a partial structure. So you will write here bond CH2, single bond CCl, again double bond CH, single bond CH2, single bond. So this is the partial structure for neoprene polymer. Okay, so the second one is Buna S. Buna S is also called as styrene butadiene rubber, which can be written as SBr. So here in case of Buna S, there are 2 monomers where Bu stands for butadiene and S stands for styrene. So you are aware of butadiene structure. How do you get a styrene is very simple. You take a ethene. So in case of ethene, one of the hydrogen should be substituted with a benzene. So if I replace one of the hydrogen with a benzene, I'll end up with a styrene. So here, since we have 2 monomers with the unsaturation, it is an example for copolymerization. So I'll show you the partial structure for Buna S. So here, write it down butadiene, then styrene. So you know that when I take a styrene, I should take only CH double bond CH2. So here I'll be writing a benzene ring. So what happens? This double bond will shift here. This double bond will delocalize here, so that it will form a bond between these 2 carbon atoms. And again this pi bond will shift here. So the partial structure will be bond CH2, single bond CH, double bond CH, single bond CH2, single bond CH, single bond CH2, single bond. So here I should bond to a benzene. So this is the partial structure for Buna S. So same way we have another one rubber called as Buna N, which is also called as nitrile rubber, where nitrile refers to cyanide group. Cyanide is also called as nitrile. So what are the 2 monomers here? Again Bu, so butadiene. N stands for acrylonitrile. So you know that acrylonitrile, again how did I get this? So take ethene molecule, remove one hydrogen, replace with a cyanide group. So I'll end up with the acrylonitrile. So it is also an example for copolymerization. So in the same way, you will be writing the partial structure for Buna N. So the last one is polysulfide rubber, which is commonly called as thiokol. So this thiokol is not there in our NCERT syllabus, but you should know for your competitive exam what are the two monomers present here is. So the first one is called as ethylene dichloride. There are two chlorine atoms, so dichloride with the ethylene, two carbon, ethylene dichloride. And another one monomer is sodium tetrasulfide. Okay, so the another one monomer is sodium tetrasulfide. So when these two monomers are taken, we'll end up with a polymer called as thiokol. And the last one is polyurethane rubber. So the two monomers here is, one is ethylene glycol and another one is ethylene diisocyanide. So here you have two isocyanate group bonded to a ethylene molecule. So therefore it is called as ethylene diisocyanate with ethylene glycol. Partial structures are not required. You just have to know the monomers for the thiokol and as well as for the polyurethane, because this is not there in your NCERT syllabus. So we'll move on to a next class of polymers. Okay, so the next class of polymers are, we are dealing with the plastics. Okay, so under plastics we have the first type called as polyolefins. I hope you know that you have heard the word about olefins. So we know that alkenes are also called as olefins. Why is that? Because they are usually oil forming in nature. So here polyolefins, under that category we have three examples. First one is polyethylene, or also called as polythene. So the next one is polypropylene, another, or polypropene, and the last one is polystyrene, which is also called as styrene. So here you should only know what are the monomers and what are the abbreviations used. So most commonly they'll be preferring the abbreviations. So you should know the abbreviations here. This is very important. So let us start with the first one, that is polyethylene or polythene. Okay. So here under polythene we have two types of polythene. One is called as low density polythene. Another one is high density polythene. I hope you know that you have studied this in your theory, where for both low density and high density we have to take a same monomer, that is ethene molecule, and this will undergo polymerization under different set of condition. I hope you know that we have to take different temperature, different pressure, and catalysts are totally different. So let me remind once again, for LDP and HDP the conditions are differing. Monomer will remain same and the polymer will also remain same, but they are differing in their properties because of their different conditions which are maintained during polymerization. So the next is polypropylene, or also called as polypropene. In a short form it is abbreviated as PP. So here what is the monomer present in polypropene is, remove poly, the left out itself is a monomer, so that is propene. Propene, refer, there are three carbon atom with one double bond. So this is a propene structure which is a monomer for the formation of polypropene. So here polyethylene, polypropene, polystyrene, all three are example for homopolymerization. Okay, so let us look on for polystyrene, where polystyrene is also called as styrene. So we don't have any abbreviation here. For polystyrene, if I remove poly, what is the monomer? Styrene. So what is the structure for styrene? Take a ethene molecule, remove one hydrogen, replace with a benzene, I'll end up with a styrene molecule. So this itself is a monomer for polystyrene. So all three are examples for polyolefins. So now let us move on to a next class, that is called as polyhaloolefins. Refer, unsaturated double bonded monomer having a halogen. Okay, so they are called as polyhaloolefins. Under polyhaloolefins, we have three types to be studied. One is polyvinyl chloride, which is short form abbreviated as PVC. And next is polytetrafluoroethylene, commonly called as Teflon. So the abbreviation is PTFE. And the last one is polymonochlorotrifluoroethylene. So the abbreviation is PCTFE. So now let us look on what are the monomers present in all the three types of polyhaloolefins. So let us start with the PVC. So in case of polyvinyl chloride, if I remove poly, what is left out part? Vinyl chloride. So vinyl chloride is a monomer present in PVC. So what is the structure for vinyl chloride? So here you have a chlorine, chloride. Chlorine is bonded to one of the carbon by replacing hydrogen from a ethene molecule. So therefore CH2 double bond CHCl is called as vinyl chloride. So the next is Teflon. So you might have heard about Teflon coating on non-stick tawas. So this Teflon has a monomer called as tetrafluoroethene. How do I get this? Replace all the 4 hydrogen of a ethene with a fluorine. Then we will end up with a tetrafluoroethene. CF2 double bond CF2 is a monomer for Teflon. So the next is polymonochlorotrifluoroethylene. So here I have monochloro, refer 1 chlorine atom, then 3 fluorine atom bonded to a carbon which is in a ethylene group. So here you have CH2 double bond CH2. I should have total 3 fluorine atom, 1 chlorine atom. So therefore chlorine, fluorine, carbon double bonded CF2. So this is the monomer for the polymonochlorotrifluoroethylene. So the monomer is monochlorotrifluoroethylene. Very simple. So all three are again, they are example for homopolymerization. Why? Because we have only a single monomer repeated several times. Okay, fine. So the next is formaldehyde resin. So here you will be using the formaldehyde as one of the monomer. So therefore they are called as formaldehyde resin. So we have 2 very common and very important formaldehyde resins. So in our syllabus, in our NCERT as well. So the first one is Bakelite, which is commonly called as phenol formaldehyde resin. So here the word, if I split, you can understand it has one monomer by name phenol and the another one is formaldehyde. So we will end up with a resin, one cross-linked structure, so that itself is called as Bakelite. So the next is melamine formaldehyde resin, which is commonly called as Melmac. So here we have 2 monomers, one is melamine itself and another one is a formaldehyde. So both of them will undergo polymerization to end up with a Melmac. Okay, so you don't have any abbreviation for Bakelite and Melmac. Okay, so the last one is polyacrylates. So this is a very important question which is repeatedly asked in your competitive exams. So the most common exam question is that is PMMA. They'll be asking what is the full form of this abbreviation. So you should know that it is nothing but polymethyl methacrylate. Okay, so this is one of the polymer which has a monomer called as methyl methacrylate. You need not by heart the monomer's name. Why? If you remove the poly, the left out part itself will be a name for the monomer. So here the monomer name is methyl because it has a CH3 group. Then methacrylate, so it is nothing but CH2 double bond CCH3 COOCH3. It is one of the ester compound. because you have COO group with the R. So therefore it is one of the ester group. So here it is an monomer for PMMA, which is nothing but polymethyl methacrylate. Got my point? So this PMMA, it is also called as plexiglass, perpax, lucite, acrylite, and so on. Okay. So next, let us move on to a fibers. Under fibers, so almost all whatever you have studied in our NCERT, same thing. There are two more additional. We'll look on what is that. So the first one is under a heading called as polyester. So this fibers are usually obtained by condensation polymerization. So I hope you know that condensation polymerization refer, we have to take two monomers with a two different functional group. And when they are condensing, there will be elimination of simple molecules like water, HCl, and so on. So let us begin with the first one, which is called as terylene or Dacron. Commonly it is also called as wear and tear cloth or wear and tear fabric. Okay, so here Dacron, it is also called as mylar. So the abbreviation used for terylene is PET. You should know PET is used for terylene. Got my point? So here what are the two monomers is? So the first one is ethylene glycol. So another one is terephthalic acid. So how does the condensation polymerization happen? Let us look on here. So take ethylene glycol. So what is ethylene glycol? So you have two OH group, CH2, CH2OH. Then we have terephthalic acid. Okay. So terephthalic acid is nothing but benzene with a 2 carboxylic acid bonded. So what do you mean by condensation reaction? I should have two monomers with a two different functional group. So here I have alcohol, here I have acid, and we are well aware of one of the name reaction called as esterification reaction. So what do you mean by esterification reaction? When an acid combines with an alcohol, will end up with an ester. So even here also, so since I have an alcohol and an acid combining, I'll end up with a ester as a functional group. So therefore, it is under a category of polyester. Got my point? So why we are studying terylene under polyesters is because we will end up with a ester as a functional group. Got my point? So here partial structures are not needed. You just have to know what are the monomers present in them. So the next one is glyptal. So this is not there in your NCERT, so you have to concentrate this. Glyptal, it is also called as alkyd resin. So what are the two monomers here is, it is same like your terylene. Why? Because even in terylene also I have ethylene glycol, even here also ethylene glycol. Here I had terephthalic acid, whereas here we have phthalic acid. So what is the difference between terephthalic acid and phthalic acid is, so here the carboxylic acid is present in 1,4 position. Whereas in phthalic acid, the carboxylic acid is present in 1,2 position. That's all is the difference. I'll repeat, for terylene, you will be using terephthalic acid, which has carboxylic acid in 1,4 position. Whereas in glyptal, you will be using phthalic acid, which has carboxylic acid in 1,2 position. Or else, both the monomers are remaining same. Okay, so this is regarding terylene and glyptal. Now let us move on to a next class, that is polyamide. I hope you know that amide is also an functional group which has CONH. So this group is called as amide functional group. So here, when do we end up with a amide functional group is, I should take one monomer with a amine group and another one monomer with a carboxylic acid. So therefore, we have to take two monomers, one having carboxylic acid and another one having amine group. So let us start with the first one, that is nylon 6,6. These numbers are very important. It is giving a hint. What is that hint is, it will speak about the number of carbon atom present in each monomer. So 6, 6, refer there are 2 monomer. Each monomer has a total of 6 carbon atom. So let us look on. So the first monomer is called as hexamethylene diamine. So here the word itself is telling hexa, there are 6 carbon, methylene group bonded with a 2 amine as a functional group. And the another one monomer, it has to be an acid. And what acid we have taken here is adipic acid, or it is also called as tetramethylene dioic acid, because there are 2 carboxylic acid with a 4 methylene group. And how do I end up with a 6 number here? 4 carbon plus 2 carbon atom of carboxylic acid, it will become 6. So therefore we have hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. Okay, adipic acid as the 2 monomers for the formation of nylon 6,6. So the next polyamide is nylon 6. So here I have only 1 6 number. That means I can take only 1 monomer which should have a total of how many carbon? 6 carbon atom. So here the monomer name is caprolactam. So you know that there are 6 carbon atoms here, 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4, 5, 6 carbon with NH. So how does this undergo a reaction? Is it will undergo ring opening reaction. So the bond will cleave exactly here between NH and CO group, and you will end up with a partial structure for nylon 6, which is also called as Perlon. Okay, so the next is polyamide. Same under polyamide we have another one example. So that is called as polyacrylonitrile. So commonly in your competitive exams they don't use a word polyacrylonitrile, but they'll be asking about Arlon, or they'll be asking about the acrylon. So what are the monomers present in the Arlon? So Arlon is an example for fiber, plastic or something like that. Okay, so you should be aware of polyacrylonitrile or Arlon or acrylon, which is commonly called as PAN. So here we have a monomer called as acrylonitrile, very simple monomer. How do you get this? You have to take a ethene molecule where one of the hydrogen is replaced with a cyanide group. So I'll end up with a acrylonitrile. So this is a monomer for your PAN or Arlon or acrylon. So this is all about fibers. So we have 2 category under fibers. One is polyester and another one is polyamide. For polyesters, terylene, another one is glyptal. For polyamide, nylon 6,6, nylon 6, and the last one is PAN. Okay, so this is all about plastics, fiber and rubber. So the last topic under polymers is biodegradable polymers. What are biodegradable polymers? So you know that the polymers which are degraded by the action of microorganisms. So we have 2 examples under our NCERT. So one is PHBV. What is PHBV? Poly beta hydroxy butyrate co-beta hydroxy valerate. So the name is very complicated, but the monomers are very simple and interesting here. What are the 2 monomers present here is 3-hydroxy butanoic acid. Okay, so 3-hydroxy butanoic acid. How do you write this? Very simple. So there are total how many carbon atoms? There are 4 carbon atoms. And we know that whenever we have a carboxylic acid, so we have to place the carboxylic acid because that carbon is also included for the IUPAC numbering. So then followed by that 3-hydroxy. For the 3rd carbon atom you have a OH group. Then the rest you can satisfy the valence. So the another one monomer here is 3-hydroxy pentanoic acid. So here the slight difference is 1 carbon difference. So here we have butanoic acid, here we have pentanoic acid. So these are the 2 monomers which are present in PHBV. And next is nylon to nylon 6. So the 2 monomers here is glycine. Glycine is actually a simplest optically inactive amino acid. So in case of glycine, Why they have used number 2 is because here glycine has total of only 2 carbon atom. Carboxylic acid 1 carbon, CH2 group 1 carbon. So there are 2 carbon atom. So therefore it is used with a 2 number. And another one, nylon 6. Why is that? Is because the next monomer has a total of 6 carbon atom. 5 plus 1 will become 6 carbon. So what is the name of the another one monomer is amino caproic acid. So if you have a common sense, you can write the structure. How you know? So oic acid, refer carboxylic acid. I should have total 6 carbon. 1 carbon is over. Remaining are 5. So you will write 5-methylene group. And amino is required, so you will write NH2 group. So this is the structure for amino caproic acid. So these are the 2 monomers for nylon 2, nylon 6. Okay, so additional information. So molecular mass of a polymers. This is not there in your NCERT, but it is commonly asked for your competitive exams. So what do you mean by molecular mass of a polymer? Why we have to concentrate on molecular mass of a polymer is because usually polymers will be having a chain of varying length. That means length is not confined here, it is not confirmed. So therefore what do we do is, we don't take a normal molecular mass, but we are going to take average molecular mass. So this is very important for polymers. We will be taking average molecular mass. If I take a natural polymer, it will have a chain of identical length. Definite molecular mass will be there for natural polymer, but not for the synthetic polymer. So therefore, average molecular mass plays a very vital role. So the average molecular mass can be calculated in 2 different ways. One is number average molecular mass, which is represented as Mn bar, and another one is weight average molecular mass, or also called as mass average molecular mass. In few books they use mass, in few books they have taken as weight. Both are one and the same, so you can take it as weight average molecular mass or mass average molecular mass. So it is represented as Mw bar. So what is the formula, how to calculate the number average molecular mass? Problems have been asked. So here for number average molecular mass, the formula is Mn bar is equal to summation of Ni divided by summation of Ni. So here what do you mean by Ni summation? Is it is nothing but you are going to add the various numbers and as well as the molecular masses of the each molecule which is present in a polymer. So it can also be abbreviated as N1 M1 plus N2 M2 plus N3 M3 and so on, divided by summation of Ni. That means I should take only the numbers here, so it will be N1 N2 N3 and so on. So where N1 N2 N3 are number of molecules and capital M stands for molecular masses of the molecule. In the same way, we have a formula for weight average molecular mass. So weight average molecular mass can be given as Mw bar is equal to summation of small mi capital Mi. I hope you know small m stands for mass of a molecule, capital M stands for molecular mass of a molecule. So therefore summation of Mi capital Mi divided by summation of small mi, that is nothing but mass of a molecule. So we can also write this formula with respect to number. How is that? Is where small mi is equal to Ni into capital Mi, where n is nothing but number of molecules multiplied with a molecular mass. I'll end up with a mass, that is small m. So therefore the formula can also be modified and written as summation of Ni Mi square divided by summation of Ni Mi. So you can use this formula or this formula depending upon the data given in your problem. So the next topic is very important, and this is called as polydispersity index. In a short form it is abbreviated as PDI. This is very important. Why is that? Is because this is used to determine the homogeneity of a polymer. So how do you find out this PDI? By using a formula, PDI is equal to weight average molecular mass divided by number average molecular mass. And do remember, for any natural polymer, the PDI value is exactly equal to 1. Whereas for synthetic polymer, the PDI value will always be equal to, it is always more than 1. And you should also know that if PDI is equal to 1, as in case of natural polymer, they are also called as monodisperse. Single monomers are being arranged there. Okay, so this is regarding PDI, very important. And last few points I have written, which have been covered up in your competitive questions, so I thought of discussing here. So they have asked you to arrange in an increasing order based on intermolecular forces by giving certain polymers. So here order is nylon 6,6. I hope you know it is a fiber. Then Buna S, it is a rubber, and then polythene, it is a plastic. So we know that the intermolecular force of attractions are stronger in case of fiber. In between comes the rubber, and the least comes in case of the plastics. Okay, so the next is thermosetting plastics are also called as heat setting plastic, whereas thermoplastic are called as cold setting plastic. So the next is another one question has been asked related to your latex. What is latex? It is a rubber which has been obtained from your rubber tree. So what is it? So this latex is nothing but it is a colloidal dispersion of a rubber in a water. Since it is related to your surface chemistry, so they have asked what is this latex. So you should know that it is a colloidal dispersion of a rubber in water. That is called as latex. And next is the most commonly questioned content is what is dinyl. Dinyl is a polymer which has two monomers by name acrylonitrile. So many times we have repeated what is acrylonitrile, and another one is vinyl chloride. So vinyl chloride and acrylonitrile are the two monomers which are present in the dinyl. Okay, so the last topic, as I have said you in the beginning, that I'll be covering another one topic called as coordination polymerization. Okay, so what is the importance of coordination polymerization is, so here we will end up with a polymers which will have a stereochemical control. Okay, so to have a stereochemical control, we bring about coordination polymerization, and for coordination polymerization commonly we have used a solid catalyst by name Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Okay, so under stereochemical control we have three types of stereoisomers ending up with a polymers, which are those is, first one is called as isotactic, next one is syndiotactic, and the third one is atactic. So here iso, same, that means same groups are aligned at same side. So you can see here that all Y are on same side, Z are on same side. So such a type of stereochemical arrangement are called as isotactic polymers. And whereas syndiotactic refer if I have YZ group in an alternating order arrangement. So you can see here YZY, ZYZ, then it is called as syndiotactic arrangement. And the third one is atactic, where atactic refer you will have a Y and Z arrangement randomly, then it is called as atactic arrangement. Okay, so this is very important. Coordination polymerization will have a stereochemical control, and we have three types of stereoisomers or stereopolymers ending up. One is isotactic, syndiotactic, atactic. Iso, same, syndio, alternating, atactic, randomly arranged. So this is all about the synapses of the polymers.
Start.
So if you read the synapses of the polymers, you can cover almost all questions of your polymer topic. Why? Because commonly they'll be asking what are the monomers, or what type of material it is, whether it is a plastic, fiber or fabric, or whether it is homopolymer, copolymer or something like that. So if you go through this synapses, it is more than enough to answer many questions of your polymers topic. Whereas since we have certain additional information content and all for your competitive exam, based on that I have taken 3 questions here. So the first question is based on the calculation of PDI. So I hope you know that PDI is used to find out the homogeneity of a polymer. So how do you calculate the PDI? By using the formula PDI is equal to ratio of weight average molecular mass divided by number average molecular mass. So here you can see that the data are given. Average mass molecular mass is given. Mass is also called as weight, as I have said you. And another one is average number molecular mass. So both the data are given as 40,000 and 30,000. So you're going to divide, you're going to take a ratio, that is PDI is equal to weight average molecular mass divided by number average molecular mass. So where weight average mass is given as 40,000 divided by 30,000. So if I divide this, of course it will be more than 1.33 something you will be getting it, so which is greater than 1. So the option B is the correct answer. And what else you can conclude here, you can tell that it is a synthetic polymer. Why? Because here PDI is greater than 1. If it is exactly equal to 1, we can conclude as a natural polymer. So the next question is related to the stereochemical aspects of your coordination polyisomerism, so which is very simple. So they are asking which of the following is a syndiotactic polymer. Syndiotactic, the word itself is telling, where you will have a alternate arrangement of Y and Z group. So it is very simple, theoretical concept based question. You can answer only if you know what are the definitions for those type of isomers. Okay, so here the answer is B. Y and Z groups are aligned alternatively on each other on the sides of the chain. And the last question